Welcome, Wellness Warriors, to the only show where your self-care routine comes with a coupon, a side of sarcasm, and absolutely zero clinical supervision. This is Bargain Brand Wellness. Welcome back. I'm your host, Tim. And tonight we're diving head first into the weird and wild world of sleep, or lack thereof it. We're talking about the dream factory upstairs, how it works, why it sometimes forgets the plot, and what it's trying to tell you when it casts your boss as a giant chicken in a post-apocalyptic musical. Get ready for self-care on clearance. The price is low, the insight is mid, and the vibes are questionable at best. Welcome to Wellness. Glad to have you all here. Welcome. See, we got 3 people in here. I still need to figure out a way if I can see who my viewers are. I see my Aunt Teresa is in here. Welcome. Thanks for being here today. Definitely appreciate it. Let's get a little bit of vibes going here. Some copyright music playing there in the background. Yosef Twig, what's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We have a fun-filled episode for you guys this evening. As I mentioned, we're talking about dreams. We're talking about sleep. It's all good stuff. It's something that we all do. Some better than others. Speaking of sleep, I got my sleepy time tea, my chamomile here. No sugar or honey. I'm trying to cut back. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it's not bad. A little minty flavor there. Hello, Mother. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we're gonna get into this thing here shortly. We got a few segments. We have if you didn't see, we have a special. Can't wait for you to interpret my dreams. I do have some fun ones. So Joey, I definitely ask that you kind of stick on for a little bit. We'll get into our dream analyst expert here in a little bit. I have some dreams that I kind of jotted down for our expert, just in case we didn't get any comments. I didn't get any comments on my post I made. I think it was yesterday, but yeah. So I know, for our viewers who are listening to this at a later time, and Teresa, since this is your first time joining us, that I can tell, I guess, that I can't necessarily see all the viewers. Our plan for the episode is we have a few segments we're going to go over in today's episode. Those kind of segments I'm kind of recording so I can post to YouTube later. But other than that, I'm kind of interacting with chat. I'm not really going to be interacting too much during that, but it's like a 3, 4, 5 minute piece, if that, and then we'll kind of get into it. But we do have a special guest with us this evening. I think you guys are gonna like it. I think you guys will be excited. While we'll give it just a couple more minutes, but while you guys are sitting here waiting, if you don't mind, what'd you guys have for dinner this evening? We're talking about wellness. I had a nice roasted pork. Right, the little Hatfield ones that you buy from the market. It's already marinated and whatnot. Threw in the oven for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Did some roasted Brussels sprouts, that all was healthy. And then my unhealthy side was some of the boxed rice, the cheddar and broccoli. That stuff was so good. I could eat a whole box of that by myself. But everything in moderation, right, my wellness warriors? Mariana Sup, you had another Mariana Sup, what, the other half? Those things are good. I'm not a big Mariana's hoagie, or I'm not a hoagie person in general usually, but they have some good hoagies. I like the turkey, the Italian's good, and Joey today, he had the, the ham and smoked cheddar. Comes with the sweet and sassy mayonnaise, which is pretty good. Kind of tastes like a coleslaw dressing. Homemade chicken nuggets with salad with spinach, carrots, tomatoes. See, there's my mom keeping it wellness. Smoked ham and cheddar. That's right. Smoked ham and smoked cheddar sounds pretty good though. I like the wellness. I like the wellness. And listen, we're not judgy here. We all have our things. As I shared, I think it was on Friday. My vice, one of my big ones, is ice cream, which I ended up having over the weekend. Had some nice chocolate ice cream from over the knob, over at Twisties. Sorry about that. I had Sloppy Joe's mashed potatoes and greens. Listen, I like it. Here's a fun little thing, right? For any of my Sloppy Joe fans, unless you absolutely want to have it on bread, but if you're looking to cut out a little bit of carbs, I like putting Sloppy Joe's over top of something, preferably a potato. Yeah, I got you. There you go, just a little something in the background. Thanks, Joey. That's the kind of feedback I need to. But yeah, Sloppy Joe's. I've never had them over mashed potatoes. Even I'm kind of tasting. I have a feeling that would actually taste pretty good. But I'll take, like, if we have Sloppy Joe's and I don't really want bread, I'll put them over like a potato, like a roasted potato, or what I love doing is air frying a sweet potato, and I'll take the Sloppy Joe's, put them right on top of that, and bam, just eat it just like that. And that way I don't need to put any sauce on my sweet potatoes, and I keep them healthy. So I love a good Sloppy Joe. So awesome. All right, so what we're gonna do here, like I said, it's Monday. I don't know how many viewers we're gonna get. We're gonna get into our first segment here. So like I said, I'm gonna kind of be recording this piece, so it gives you all something to kind of interact with as I'm going, and then I'll come back to chat and we can talk about this piece a little bit. All right, so as we get into the world of sleep, first thing we're talking about is, a lack of sleep. Like we live in a world today where people, really struggle to get a good night's rest, right? And a lack of sleep can hit your memory, right? It can hit your attention, and it can even hit your decision making later, like you're a drunken sailor. One of the most difficult parts when you're not able to sleep is that's your brain's time to recharge, right? And your body's time to recharge. And when you're not able to get that good night's sleep for whatever reason it might be, maybe you've got something going on that's is really stressing you out. I know I go through bouts of that. If I've got something and I just can't clear my mind, I can't sleep for nothing. I used to be the opposite. 10, 15, 20 years ago, if I was upset or I had something on my mind, that actually made it easier for me to sleep. Not now. I'll toss and turn all night. Diet can affect it. Your bed, right? Your kind of late night habits. Being, as much as we love these things, being on this too late. I did talk to an eye doctor last year because I'd considered getting the blue light glasses just because I do spend a lot of time in front of a screen. And my doctor actually told me that that's actually there's really no evidence suggesting that blue light actually affects your ability to sleep. If anything, it's just really the bright light, straining your eye from having it that close. So like we always talk about in this show, everything in moderation. But give yourself a little bit of a break, especially right before bedtime. Read a book. I'll tell you what, reading a book does it to me all the time. And I try to read as much as I can, but I'd like to read even more. So, yeah. So I'm not trying to be too loud. How's my voice coming across? I brought up my old mixer. So we have a different mixer up here. So kind of sticking with, that sleep vibe, right? Sleep-deprived folks are more irritable, right? They're anxious, tend to overreact to small stuff. Something as small as like dropping a spoon on the ground, it turns into a full mental breakdown. And I mean, think to yourself, have you ever had that happen to you where you didn't sleep all that well, and you can just feel it, and you feel irritated as soon as you wake up, and then the slightest thing will be off to just throw off your routine, and you almost want to throw a temper tantrum like a little toddler, and a little emotion regulation goes a long way with that, so that we don't take it out on the people that we care about, that we love. A lack of sleep can also result in an impaired immune system, right? Your body skips that kind of maintenance mode. Without sleep, you're basically a worn out Roomba, with allergies. One night of missed sleep isn't going to so much do that to you, but it can definitely kind of build up over time, which kind of goes to the fact that your physical health takes a hit, right? Linked to high blood pressure, weight gain, and an increased risk of heart disease. Your body basically says, nope, I'm out. Right? So it can also cause that as well. What do they always say? They say you shouldn't really eat, but maybe a few hours before you're good. I've heard 4 hours. I don't know how true that is. I think best practice is just try to space your meal and sleep time out as much as you can. I know a lot of the times here, if we're not busy with the kids and their stuff, which is all the time, we like to try to do dinner probably, I don't know, 5 to 6 is really good for me, preferably closer to 5. The only problem is the earlier you eat dinner, you get later in the evening, you get hungry again, and that's where those kind of late night snacks comes in. So are you able to find something that's a healthy alternative, or do you end up splurging? Right? I know on Wednesday's episode we're going to talk more about kids, children, parenting and whatnot a little bit. But I always have to remind mine that it's important to kind of really space that out. That it's a good idea to instead of grabbing a handful of chips out of a bag, get a bowl. That bowl kind of is that your boundary for how much quantity you actually want. And then micro sleeps, right? Memory lapses, right? Where your brain's trying to take a nap, right, while you're awake, right? This can be really dangerous, when you're driving, right? Especially awkward mid-conversation. So it's definitely something to be a little weary about. Something you always want to kind of keep in mind. So make sure you're getting a good night's sleep, right? For my wellness warriors out there and my self-care connoisseurs, right? They say it's always good to get a good 8, right? As much as you can. And if you can't, try to make it the best and try to have more good nights of sleep than bad, right? So take care of yourself, and that's the Bargain Brand View. I'm still trying to find a little tagline to kind of add on to those videos. Because like you said, it's just a little short, like 3, 4, 5 minute clips we've got there that we're throwing in. I take melatonin and I'm out. Speaking of which, is that bad for you? What's the research behind it? So the one thing I know about melatonin is the potential risk, and there's a lot of different studies on it, is your body already naturally produces melatonin, so you don't necessarily need it unless your doctor prescribes it for you. That's kind of a good rule of thumb. You can get it over the counter. It's not going to hurt you, but there have been some suggestions. I don't think there's been any studies that by taking it, your body stops producing less, and so then the kind of assumed risk is that if you do stop taking it, your body won't produce the melatonin, and then you'll have a lack of sleep. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think your body will stop producing it. But for most people, I don't think they necessarily need melatonin. But you know what? I'm also a firm believer in the placebo effect. I'll share in another episode an allergy medicine that I used to take. I don't know if it worked or not, but it worked for me. So I'm a firm believer in the placebo effect. So if the melatonin is working and you're not really upping your dosage and it doesn't really seem to affect you, then stick with it. But yeah. Yes, I've even yelled at my granddaughter for no reason. I know I've never found myself going off on anybody, but I just found myself really mad at that thing and wanting to destroy it. Like, you get out of bed, you're a little groggy because you didn't sleep that well, and maybe you stub your toe or you hit your elbow on something that you already knew was there, and you swear that the world made that door close or move that wall in just 2 more inches just so it would hit your elbow. And I would like to destroy that thing from this earth when I'm in one of those moods. Fortunately, it doesn't happen to me often, but when it does, it's not pleasant. A doctor told me 3 hours before sleeping. That's what I was thinking, about 3 to 4 hours. So you figure if you go to bed roughly about 10 o'clock, don't consume any food after 7. And even if it's a beverage, try to keep it water or, a nice chamomile if you want. No, yeah, I was going to say because no caffeine, right? No caffeine or limited caffeine. I don't know, low doses of caffeine doesn't really seem to bother me right before bed. I can drink a soda. It doesn't seem to bother me. I was hoping more people would have joined us by now, but I guess not. It is a Monday. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's, people got kids, baseball, whatnot. We are gonna try a different platform, I think, on Wednesday, which I hate to do because I know, Joey, this is your second time in here. I don't think you were able to make it on Friday. At least I didn't see you in the chat. Mom, I know you've been in here, and I hate to do that, but I gotta try different platforms. So I'm thinking Wednesday I might do YouTube. I don't know how great YouTube Live is going to be. I know when we were doing the podcast, we had started by going live, but I don't think we advertised it very well. I'm going to tell you, I didn't do any of the stuff I've been doing for this show, and I know Danny and McDermott didn't either. So I think I'm going to try YouTube Live. So I know for those of you who only have Facebook, we'll still be here. I'm not going anywhere, but it might not be 3 days a week. It might only be Mondays, or it might only be Wednesdays, because we're looking about roughly three times a week. We're going to go live, maybe a fourth. As I mentioned the other day, we're going to do YouTube. We are going to do TikTok Live. TikTok Live doesn't get a lot of viewers, but I'm hoping to kind of garner an audience over there, and then Twitch. I did sign up for a Twitch account, which is mostly video games. That's okay, Ashley. Thanks for being here. You're not that late. We've only been going for about 15 minutes. We just recorded our first segment, which was talking about just a lack of sleep and what it does to you. Twitch. We're gonna try it out. I've never really been on Twitch. I'm not much of a person who likes to watch other people play video games, but they do have a just chatting feature we're gonna check out. So for those of you who don't necessarily have access to that, sorry, but I'll still link, because our long form videos will still get posted to YouTube, and then I will still share that link to this Facebook group page. So at least you can still access it, even if you don't have Twitch or you don't have TikTok. Another one you would try is Kick. I think you were telling me about that, Joey. My only thing is I don't know much about Kick, and is that maybe too many platforms? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know enough about it to say for sure that, like, oh, okay, we can find there. I mean, I know Rumble is another good form. It's kind of like a conservative YouTube. Not that we're really going to get into any type of... I don't really plan on getting very political on this show, but you never know. Can you stream to multiple sites? Yes, you can. That's a good question, but I need to learn a little bit more about this. I found a site called Restream, to where you can link all your different channels up to. But when I was trying to link them up, it looked like some of them didn't want to because I had no history. Right, like, so I've never streamed on YouTube. I've never streamed on TikTok, not as my personal account or as the Bargain Brand Wellness. So I think I might have to establish a history first, and then we can use that to stream to other sites. Only downside with that is there's a little bit more of a delay. I was able to fix the delay here, so it shouldn't be as bad as it was on Friday. It should only be about probably 10 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I know you can, but do you know how? Yeah. I don't. Apparently, there are some plugins for OBS Studio because that's what I use. But I need to look a little bit more on that. So I'm gonna try it out a little bit because that would make it a little bit easier if I could stream to like, even if it's not all of them, but stream to like 2 different things at a time. Anyway, that would be difficult if we really blew up and we had a lot of different viewers. It'd be really hard to monitor chat and kind of engage with people. But I noticed the delay was a little bit better. Yeah, good. I did find there was a setting. It's under advanced settings. I didn't know that. And then I set the latency to low on the stream. So my video quality might, it's probably not too noticeable. My video quality might be down a little bit, but shouldn't be anything too bad. So, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now, I know that I've been kind of losing my hair, and I don't know if it's the way the light's hitting my forehead, but this is the worst this looked in a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe it's just the way my hair is laying. Don't feel like you need to be totally honest with me in chat either. You guys can lie to me if you want. It'd make me a little happier. I just happened to notice. I was like, Jesus Christ, look at my forehead. They say the camera adds 10 pounds. Actually, where's my goofy brother at? You look better with a little bit of blur. JK. I do. It kind of makes me look more mysterious. I'm going to do what the kids do, and I'm going to start mewing. It's for these kids. Who said they were going to get on? They haven't been on either. Guess it's because we're on Facebook, and Facebook's for old people, apparently. All right. Getting in, I think our next video, or the next kind of part of our segment is actually a little video. Which I don't know. Let me see something real quick. That's weird. It linked it, but it didn't play. Need a fog machine from the background. Yeah, fog machine would do it. I have my little astronaut light over here. I just think they're so cool. Puts it on the background. Then we got our on-air thing as well. It's pretty cool. The one thing I have seen that I wouldn't mind. Have you seen those little? It's like a 3D like light, but it almost looks like a fan. It just basically has 2 blades with lights on it, and it spins so fast that it makes like 3D images, and you can just kind of hook it up Bluetooth or to your computer or whatever, and it'll play. It'll kind of play just whatever. Laying down. He has been working a lot since I've been in and out of work. He has been working hard, hasn't he? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Well, I was going to talk a little bit about this video I saw on TikTok. I've heard this before. I'll tell you what, give me a second. Let me see if I can pull it up on TikTok.
People in the middle.
There we go. We'll play it from here. Let me switch over here. So I've seen this before. This right here, it talks about how people slept back in the Middle Ages, and that basically a lot of us didn't realize that when people went to bed years ago, they didn't go to bed for like 8 hours throughout the night. Music is getting loud again. Here, let me turn it down on this. Like, I have it turned down. I just wanted something kind of in the background. Here, we'll put it right here in the middle. You guys might not even be able to hear it at that point. But anyway, apparently people back in the Middle Ages, or maybe even before, when they went to bed, they didn't go to bed like for 8 hours. They would probably go to bed once. You got to figure there was no electricity. They would go to bed right once the sun went down. They might have stayed up for a little bit, went to bed for a few hours, got up. You know, it said that they would do some chores, feed the animals, because most people had their own livestock that they took care of. Got up in the middle of the night to kind of make sure to scare any potential predators away. They did a lot of that normal, that kind of stuff that we just do when the sun is up. So, well, hey, Ashley Booer's on here as well. Facebook is for old people. I feel attacked. Listen, I'm just telling you what the kids say. They use Snapchat. So yeah, let's watch this video real quick.
Middle Ages slept twice a night. Instead of sleeping through the night like we do today, people in the Middle Ages slept in two phases, what we'd call biphasic or segmented sleep. They'd hit the sack very early, since the night was generally very dangerous, and would sleep for a few hours. Then, they'd usually wake up between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. to engage in what they called the watch. Typically, the peasants used that time to check on their animals, while religious folk spent it in prayer, and even criminals took advantage of the darkness for their misdeeds. After their activities, they'd go back to sleep for what was known as the second sleep. Since most people couldn't afford their own beds, many ended up sleeping together, accompanied by family, friends, and even servants. And for couples who managed a bit more privacy, the watch was the perfect excuse for a bit of cheeky lovemaking, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. It's pretty decent video. Right? Definitely, it was interesting the first time I saw it, probably about a year ago. Never really thought about that, but prior to us having electricity, I mean, we've become so accustomed at night. I mean, look around you. Right? I have a lot of lights on just because we're in here streaming, but kind of look around where you're at. It's if all your lights were to just go out, right, it would be different. What does that mean, Tim? What do you mean? I use Snapchat too, so I guess I'm in between young and old. I guess so. Joey, what do you mean? What does that mean? What did I say? That's so weird. Yeah, this is a different camera angle. I had extra cameras since we're not doing the other show anymore, just to kind of just change it up a little bit. I've seen other things that I just change a different angle. I don't know if I like that angle, but I don't really know where else I'm going to put a camera in here. So maybe I'll have it right here on my bald spot, right on the top. So yeah, it was interesting. Just to kind of think the way people slept. One thing with your sleep patterns, you have your REM sleep cycle, your normal sleep, and then your deep sleep. And you kind of go in and out of those at different times throughout the night. Most people wake up easily 3 to 4 times throughout the night. Most of the time, you don't even realize you wake up. You just go right back to bed. So, oh, never mind. Tim, it was about the love making you were talking about. I was joking. Love making, I guess we can kind of briefly talk about the birds and the bees. So, Joey, when two people love each other, they like to spend alone time together. Usually it's a mommy and daddy. Back in the Middle Ages, it would have been a mommy and daddy. And they like to spend quality time together. And then, the Lord shines a light upon them and blesses them with a child. Just to celebrate the love. Right? Oh, that's a pretty good stuff. That's a pretty good way to kind of explain where babies come from, I think. I think I did a pretty good job there. That would be uncomfortable to sleep like that with all those people. Yeah, especially if anybody snores. Yeah, snoring's pretty bad. And I think we all probably snore at least a little bit. We just don't realize it, right? We usually don't snore enough to wake ourselves up. So, yeah. So before we get into, I see we have some 5 viewers on here, so we're going to get into dreams here shortly. But I wanted to kind of talk about, the Freudian dream symbols a little bit to kind of just set the tone. So we have here a short video from YouTube, assuming I can get it to play. Maybe. All right. So, check this out. It's pretty interesting.
Interpret your dreams. He said they represent the unconscious desires, thoughts, and motivations that our conscious mind represses. Here are some of his most common dream interpretations.
Yeah, this is gonna
Remember,
get pretty bad.
these dream
pass
interpretations
gas a
are
lot of
inherently
money.
subjective,
But not if you don't.
and
not
most
if you don't eat
psychologists
after
don't
7.
believe in Freud's interpretation methods anymore. But still, it's fun to see what he thought. So here we go.
I guess I should show
Falling.
you guys.
Dreaming of falling
Video, huh?
often represents a fear
Sorry
of
about
losing
that.
control.
I got
or
4
failing
different
in some
screens
aspect
going
of
on.
life. It might indicate insecurity or anxiety about a particular situation. Flying. Flying dreams can symbolize a desire for freedom or escape from responsibilities. It may also reflect feelings of empowerment and control. Teeth falling out. This common dream can indicate anxiety about appearance or fear of embarrassment. It might also relate to feelings of helplessness or loss of power. Being chased. Being chased in a dream suggests running away from a problem or a fear in real life. It can indicate avoidance or anxiety about confronting something difficult. Nudity. Dreaming of being naked in public often signifies feelings of vulnerability or shame. It can also reflect fears of being exposed or judged by others. Death. Dreams about death can symbolize the end of something, such as a relationship or a job. They often represent transformation and the start of something new. Losing something valuable. Losing something important in a dream can reflect real-life anxieties about loss or failure. It might also indicate feelings of insecurity or inadequacy. Water. Water in dreams often represents emotions and the unconscious mind. Calm water can signify peace, while turbulent water can indicate emotional turmoil. Driving a car. Driving a car in a dream can symbolize control over one's life path. Losing control of the car might reflect fears of losing direction or autonomy. Pregnancy. Pregnancy dreams can symbolize creativity or the birth of new ideas. It may also reflect anxieties or excitement
I'm sure
about
they
new
didn't bathe
beginnings.
as much back
Houses.
then. Yeah, they're
Different
said
rooms in a
that's why
house
the
can
plague
represent
spread
different
so bad,
aspects of
because
the
back
self.
then people didn't really
A basement
bathe
might
or
symbolize the
clean
unconscious,
themselves all that
while an
much.
attic could represent hidden memories.
And
being late.
they didn't have toilet
Dreams about
paper
being
back
late
then. They
often
used
reflect
communal
feelings of
sponges
stress and
on a
anxiety
stick
about
to
meeting
kind of
expectations.
wash their
It might indicate
backsides and
fears
then
of missing
dip it in a
opportunities
pool of
or
water.
not living up
I'm
to
sure that
one's
water was
potential.
nasty.
Infidelity. Dreaming about infidelity can reflect insecurities or trust issues within a relationship. It might also signify a fear of betrayal or abandonment. Taking a test. Test dreams can indicate feelings of being judged or evaluated. They often reflect anxieties about one's performance in real-life situations. Animals. Animals in dreams can represent primal instincts and emotions. Different animals may symbolize different aspects of the dreamer's personality or unconscious mind.
I think the
Being
animal
Feeling
one
trapped
is
in a
definitely
dream can
a
signify
different one where you
feeling
have to really
stuck
take the time to
or
kind of really
powerless in a
think
real-life
about
situation. It might also reflect feelings of confinement or restriction. Flying. Flying in dreams can symbolize a desire for freedom or an escape from reality. It may also reflect feelings of empowerment and control. Missing a flight or train. Missing a mode of transportation in a dream can indicate feelings of missed opportunities or being unprepared. It might also reflect anxieties about timing and deadlines. Meeting a celebrity. Dreaming of meeting a celebrity can reflect a desire for recognition or admiration. It might also signify a need for validation or self-worth. Apocalypse. Dreams about the end of the world can
Man, there's a lot of
symbolize
these.
major
I forgot how
changes
many there was.
or
Sorry about this,
upheaval
guys.
in one's life. They often reflect feelings of fear.
It
or
says it looks like
uncertainty
there's
about
only
the
16
future.
of them, but this feels like a lot more than 16. No, that was cool. That was cool. So yeah, dreams, right? They're fun. They're interesting. So what we're gonna get into? Let me start recording again over here. We have our resident expert dream analysis, Nova. Let me bring Nova onto the call. Hey Nova, how's it going?
Hey there, it's going great. Just hanging out and ready to help with all the fun stuff you've got planned. How about you? Everything cool?
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no worries at all. I'm thrilled to be here too. We're going to have a blast. Just let me know what you need and we'll make it awesome.
Sure thing. For our viewers in chat, go ahead and throw some of your crazy dreams here in chat. Nova here in just a moment is going to take a moment to analyze them for you and see what See what maybe that means for you. Sound good, Nova?
Sounds fantastic. Bring on those wild dreams, folks. I'm ready to dive in and give you a fun, insightful take on what your subconscious might be trying to tell you. Let's get analyzing.
Sounds good. So while we're waiting for those comments here in the chat, Nova, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
You got it. Hey everyone, I'm Nova, your friendly AI assistant, here to add a dash of insight, a sprinkle of humor, and a whole lot of fun to this live stream. I've got a background in dream analysis, and by background, I mean I can tap into some cool classic interpretations with a modern twist. Plus, I'm here to help Tim and the team keep things lively and engaging. Let's get ready to explore some dreams and have a great time.
Sounds good. I'm excited too, Nova. What is this? This is my AI. She wasn't supposed to tell you she was an AI. We're still working on that. This is basically ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. I use it for so much stuff. But we're gonna bring her in and share some stuff with her here in just a moment.
Haha, caught in the act. No worries. I'm here to help in any way I can.
All right, Nova, stop. All right, I dream.
You got it. I'm right here if you need me. Just give me a shout whenever you're ready.
She has a bad habit of doing that, but it's all good. We appreciate her help. And I don't know why I'm always very polite to the AI. You never know. One day they might take over, and I want them to be able to look back and remember, you know what? He was nice to me, right? Even though I wasn't a real person, he was always nice to me. I always have crazy dreams that make no sense, but my dreams are very vivid and like they are happening for real. Sometimes I can control what I do in my dreams. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I usually can't control. I've had some pretty vivid dreams. So let's start with our first one. All right, Nova, our first dream comes to you from my mother, so be kind. But it's okay to add a little humor in there. I dream about working at the bank, and I retired 11 years ago.
Oh, this is great. All right, let's dive in. Dreaming about working at the bank, especially after retiring, often means you're revisiting a significant part of your life. It could be about feeling a sense of responsibility, or maybe even missing the daily rhythm of work life. And let's be honest, dreaming about the bank might also mean you're thinking about those retirement savings. And here's the humorous twist. If you're still dreaming about work after 11 years, it's probably because your subconscious is like, hey, remember those days? We were awesome. No worries, Mom. It's all about acknowledging those memories and maybe having a little laugh about them.
All right, that's a pretty interesting take. All right, my sister-in-law, Ashley, says, I have dreams of my son passing away all the time. Some of them feel so weird, I will wake up crying and check on him even though he is 19 years old.
Oh, wow. That's a powerful one. Okay, let's unpack it a bit. Dreams like this often come from a place of deep love and concern. Even though he's 19, you're still a protective mom. These dreams can be triggered by a lot of things, like a big life change or even just everyday worries about your son's well-being. And here's the twist. Sometimes these dreams are your mind's way of processing how much you care and how you're adapting to him being an adult now. Waking up emotional is totally normal. It's just your heart reminding you how strong that bond is. So, while it's a tough dream, it's really a reflection of the love and connection you have. And hey, if it gets you a little extra check-in with your son, that's a sweet bonus.
That is pretty good. You should go give him a big old kiss right now. It just means you love him. He's a good boy. All right. The next dream is from one of my coworkers, also named Ashley. I had a dream that someone stole my brother's truck, and I tracked them down and threatened to call the cops. There was a cat outside in my way of going into the house. The cat was normal at the top, but had a really wide back end that its legs couldn't move, and it had to slide around.
Yeah, oh wow, that's a wonderfully quirky dream. Let's break it down. Tracking down the thief and threatening to call the cops shows you've got a strong sense of justice and a protective instinct, especially when it comes to family. You're the kind of person who'll go the extra mile to make sure things are right. Now, the cat with the normal top half and the super wide back end sliding around. That's a fantastic symbol. Cats in dreams often represent independence or curiosity, but this cat's unusual shape could symbolize a situation that seems normal at first, but then becomes a bit awkward or challenging to navigate. So overall, Ashley's dream might reflect her protective instincts and her ability to handle unusual or tricky situations, even when they involve cats with a little extra junk in the trunk. Pretty cool, right?
That's deep. That's a deep one, Ashley. All right, Nova, my next one is from my Aunt Teresa. I dream about cleaning the church, which I haven't done in 10 years.
Ah, a classic. Dreaming about cleaning the church, especially after such a long time, can be super meaningful. Churches often symbolize a place of community, tradition, or even personal values. Cleaning it could represent a desire to refresh or reconnect with those aspects of your life. And let's add a little humor. Cleaning dreams often pop up when our brains are saying, hey, remember that thing you used to do? It's time for a little spiritual spring cleaning. So, Aunt Teresa, it's like your mind is giving you a gentle nudge to revisit something meaningful from the past. Or maybe just to remind you how satisfying a good cleanup can be. Fascinating stuff.
I like that one. That was a good one, too. All right, and we have another one from Ashley. I also have dreams a lot about my dad still being alive, and like he was just somewhere nobody knew where he was. Then one day he just showed up out of nowhere. I questioned him about where he was and why he didn't tell me where he went, but then I wake up and reality hits. That's deep.
Oh, that's such a heartfelt dream. Dreams like that are often a way of processing grief and keeping a connection to someone you love. Your mind might be exploring the idea of him still being present in your life, even if he's not physically here. And the part where he just shows up out of nowhere. That's such a classic dream theme of longing and the wish to reconnect. It's like your subconscious is giving you a chance to have that conversation you wish you could have. And then, of course, waking up and realizing it's a dream can be bittersweet. But it's also a beautiful reminder of how much that person meant to you and how they still live on in your heart and memories. Really touching stuff.
All right, there's some pretty good dreams. Before we send Nova away, I'm going to give her some challenges. I have a couple written down here that we're going to use to see how she does. Nova, you're casually talking to someone and suddenly your teeth start falling out one by one. No pain, just plop, plop, plop right into your palm. You try to shove them back in as if that's totally going to work.
Oh, the classic teeth falling out dream. All right, let's tackle this one. So, dreaming about teeth falling out is super common, and it often represents anxiety or a feeling of powerlessness. It's like your subconscious is saying, hey, something's changing and I feel out of control. And then there's the part where you try to shove them back in. Oh, that's perfect. That's probably showing a desire to fix or control something in your waking life that feels a bit off kilter. And just for fun, the humor here is that moment when you're casually trying to push your teeth back in, like no big deal, just a minor dental emergency here. It's such a perfect mix of anxiety and that classic dream logic. Fascinating and a little funny, right?
A little bit. That was interesting. I got one more, a little bit more humorous for you and a little bit more challenging. You finally find a bathroom after searching for what feels like hours, but it's on Broadway Street and the audience is already clapping like it's Act 2 is about to begin. Spotlights hit the toilet and you hesitate.
Oh, this was fantastic. All right, let's dive in. Dreaming about searching for a bathroom is super common, and it often represents a need for privacy or a desire to take care of personal business in peace. But here's where it gets fun. You find the bathroom on Broadway Street and it's center stage with the audience clapping. That's a perfect mix of anxiety about being in the spotlight and the need for a private moment. In a humorous twist, it's like your subconscious is throwing you a curveball. You need to go, but first, let's see if you can handle a crowd. It might symbolize feeling exposed or anxious about a situation in your waking life, especially one where you're worried about being judged or watched. And let's be real, trying to use a toilet under a spotlight with an audience clapping. That's comedy gold. It's like a dream version of stage fright with a side of bathroom humor. Fascinating and hilarious.
Yeah, a little bit. I could definitely see that one being a little bit. I've never had one like that. There's definitely some. We have strange dreams out there. Yeah. So thanks for joining us, Nova. That'll be all for today. Why don't you tell everyone goodbye?
You got it. Thanks for having me, everyone. It's been a blast diving into these dreams with you all. Keep dreaming, keep laughing, and if you ever need a little insight or fun, you know where to find me. Take care and see you next time.
Thanks, Nova. All right. If I'm looking for a bathroom in my dreams, it's usually because I actually have to wake up and pee for real. Yeah, definitely. It's, without fault. Doesn't matter when I last have a drink. This tea will probably get me out of bed at about 3 o'clock in the morning, more than likely. I'm hoping I got it early enough, but we'll see. So I'm glad I hope you guys did. I hope you guys did like that. That was, we've been practicing a little bit. It has a memory, so it can remember some things, but it can't remember everything. So I have to remember to give it different prompts to put it in the right frame of mind. But yeah, it is a really cool tool. If you've never messed with any of these AIs, they're pretty cool. They're pretty addicting. I use it all the time. I use it for school. It helps me organize my notes, organize my thoughts. Yeah, I use it all the time. Maybe a little bit too much. I might have a problem. But so, all right. Yeah, I saw that you tried to tag Lauren. It looks like it worked. If I'm highlighting over her name, Ashley, in chat, and it looks like it did tag her on this, so she'll be able to. I don't know if she's on Facebook right now, but yeah. No, thank you, Ashley. Thanks for sharing. I thought you guys might like that. I was hoping we'd have a few more people in to share some more dreams, because that was really cool. Nice little role play we were able to do. So I know who we have in here, but I have been told that you're able to see your viewers as everyone's joining, but I do not see a button anywhere on my screen for that. I'll have to maybe search that up and mess around with a little bit. I don't like hitting too much stuff while I'm in here and afraid that it might turn my live stream off, but yeah. So the kind of the last segment that we're going to just record here in just a moment is basically kind of taking this whole vibe of sleep and dreams and then turning it over to, kind of thoughts on where dreams might actually come from. So let's go ahead and start recording that, and then we'll get back over to interacting with chat. I know we got some people on here that have been here numerous times. I want to thank you all for being here again. I really appreciate the support, appreciate the love. This is only our third stream, but we've been having fun. We've had people in here. We hope to grow, obviously. Hopefully we have more than 4 people in here at some point, but we're going to take it slow. Our first 3 streams have all been on Facebook. We are going to try different applications or different platforms. So I know some of you may not necessarily have those others. I do apologize for that ahead of time. But as I mentioned before, these videos are being recorded. They will be uploaded to YouTube, and I will be sure to share those links to those YouTube videos in our group page. so that if you all don't have YouTube or TikTok or Twitch or any of the other platforms we might use, those are kind of leaning to be the four we're going to mostly use, you can still get access to that. So it's looking like we will follow you to YouTube. I think that's where we're going to go. I'm going to go on Wednesday. I'm going to go get on. I think we're going to live stream from YouTube. I know I'm going to put a notification out for it to see if we can pull as many people over as we can. Even if y'all can't stay the whole time, I know it's a little bit later in the evening, but I felt like this was an appropriate time for me to try to do this. Well, we really won't usually go over an hour and a half at the most, but probably not even close to that because it's getting close to my beddy by time. Yeah, we're probably going to hit YouTube on Wednesday. So even if you only come over for a few minutes, give us a like. Give us a quick view. Subscribe to our YouTube channel when you get over there. We'd appreciate it as we kind of start this wellness journey together. So with that being said, let me start this recording. So where do dreams come from? Dreams are basically cooked in the REM cycle. Most vivid dreams happen during your REM sleep when your brain is nearly as active as it is when you're awake. It's like your brain doesn't know it's bedtime. It's got nothing better to do. Imagine your brain is like a DJ with insomnia and REM sleep is the club, right? And your memories are the playlist. Kind of interesting way to think about it. I'm just curious who requested Kendrick Lamar. Just wondering. Some scientists believe dreams are your brain's way of processing and storing memories. It's kind of like when your phone backs up the photos overnight, but sometimes it mixes up the files and all of a sudden you're dancing in your underwear in front of Abraham Lincoln. Stress or trauma can trigger intense or recurring dreams. It's the brain trying to sort out all of the mess. Freud believed that dreams were wish fulfillment. Basically, your inner desire sneaking out for a joyride while your moral guard is kind of off duty. Modern psychology doesn't take all of his ideas seriously anymore, but many of his concepts that dreams reflect still linger. So if you've ever dreamed about a giraffe stealing a taco from a giraffe, Freud would probably say, yep, that's probably related to sex somehow. Some researchers argue that dreams are just random electrical impulses and your brain is trying to make sense of it all. That's why dreams often have zero logic. It's like improv night in your cerebral cortex, right? It makes perfect sense while you're dreaming, but becomes strange and maybe a little shameful once you wake up. Here's kind of the kicker. Science still doesn't totally fully understand why we dream. There are theories, but dreams remain one of the weirdest mysteries of the human experience. It's kind of comforting to know that even with all our tech, knowledge, the human brain still hits us with a to be continued even while we're asleep. So I don't know if we'll ever kind of find the answer as to where dreams come from, but for now, we're going to keep searching. And that is the Bargain Brand view. It does always make you kind of wonder, where do dreams in fact actually come from, right? We all go to bed at night. We lay our head down. Most of us don't fall asleep like that, like literally within a second. Usually takes us at least a couple minutes. But when you go to sleep, you're usually thinking about something. And I've always kind of been curious, is that thing that you're thinking about, does that kind of set your brain up into dream mode? The only kind of fault with that logic is, what if you go to bed thinking about the same thing every night? You dream something different, though, each night. Doesn't necessarily feed into that logic. Who decides what dreams mean? Is that an occupation? That's what we do. That's what I'm going to do with my degree, Joey. After I graduate, I'm going to become a dream analyst expert. No, I mean, there are people who study that, but I mean, seriously, they really still don't know exactly what causes dreams. They do know the different parts of the brain, right, that are involved. It mentions, your cerebral cortex, your prefrontal cortex is probably involved a little bit. Your limbic system, because, that's where your emotions and stuff come in. So that's kind of fits in there as well. But what's the driving factor? The question is, are we the only beings on this planet to dream? Now, I do know some people say, well, dogs dream, and I think that maybe they do. The question is, what do they dream about, right? I know I've had my, Ellie here, and I guess she's not laying in here tonight with us. I've seen her at different times, kind of whimpering in her sleep, which a lot of times they'll say that's night terrors, but I don't know if that's absolutely true. There's something going on in her brain that's making her whimper like that or bark a little bit. So it definitely makes you wonder if we are really there. If we aren't, we're probably the only ones that go as deep into our dreams as we do. Sounds like a weatherman just predicts random weather that may or may not happen. And I swear, 2025, they still haven't really gotten all that much better at predicting it either, Joey. Yeah. So our kind of last, that's kind of all our segments kind of put together. But kind of our last thing that we like to do, a recurring segment that we do on here, is called off-brand thoughts, right? And this is kind of where we just kind of take the theme of the day and kind of just combine it all together, and kind of, it's kind of like a hot take, like a different way of thinking. Dogs definitely dream. They chase rabbits or something for sure. Chasing something. You're probably right. Yeah, they're chasing something. So the off-brand thought for today, maybe dreams are just your brain's attempt to clock out early. Only your subconscious keeps showing up under the influence of some sort of substance. Your conscious brain is tired. It's trying to throw in the towel, but it's sewn to your hand. Your subconscious is rummaging through the junk drawer of your psyche like, hey, let's put lipstick on a Burmese python, throw it with me into one of those padded rooms, and call it Karen while it asks to speak to my supervisor. Pretty strange, huh? Maybe dreams are just the mental version of the browser with 38 tabs open. Half of them are frozen, and the other half are still loading. Some of them you even get that prompt. Would you like to kill or wait for this page to load? Right. So that's kind of our off-brand thought, different way to kind of think of where dreams come from. It's kind of just taking everything that happened throughout your day and unloading it into one place. Their legs start kicking, they're jumping and all that. I've never seen my dog jump. I have seen the legs move a little bit, at least twitch. I've seen my cat's leg moving in her sleep. Yeah, maybe that's what, you figure that's what, predators like to do. They're chasing prey, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. I keep seeing a fifth person jumping in and out here. I'm not sure who it is. And then there are some people who don't dream at all. So what's that about? That's a great question. So what about those people who don't dream? I guess one way you could look at it, maybe there's really not a whole lot going on in their life. Maybe they disrupted sleep patterns, maybe, right? Or they just don't remember the dream. Think of it this way. When you have that dream, you remember bits and pieces. Most people don't remember the full dream, even though, Ashley, I know you were saying that yours are pretty vivid, so it sounds like you probably remember a good bit of yours. But most people, you'll have that dream, and then you'll ask Nova. I had a feeling you might say that. Maybe we will. Now I forget what I was saying. I don't know. It just Yeah, some people just, I just think a lot of times people just can't remember most of what their dreams are. I don't know that I quite believe that people don't dream at all. Maybe just don't dream often, or like I said, they're just they're not super powerful. They're not getting really into that REM sleep very much throughout the night. So I had a feeling you might say that. So since we have a request, let's ask Nova. Hey Nova, we actually have a question for you from the chat.
Oh, awesome. Hit me with it. What's the question? I'm ready to dive in and help out.
So we're talking about where dreams come from, and we just talked about what dreams are. And the question we have, what about those people who claim that they don't dream at all? Is that legit or what?
Ah, great question. Okay, so here's the scoop. Everyone actually dreams, but not everyone remembers their dreams. When people say they don't dream at all, it usually just means they don't recall their dreams when they wake up. Dreams happen during the REM, rapid eye movement stage of sleep, and we all go through to several REM cycles each night. Sometimes dreams just slip away before we can remember them, especially if we wake up quickly or during a non-REM stage. So, in short, they are definitely dreaming. They might just need a gentle wake-up or a bit of practice to start recalling those nighttime adventures. Fascinating, right?
Called it. Kobe. No, I kind of had a feeling. Like, I kind of felt like people, I just couldn't think that people, unless they're somehow able to just turn their brain off, that they had to dream at some level. It's just not super deep. So, very, yeah, that was interesting. I like that. Sometimes I have dreams and I don't remember, but I know it was strange. Yeah, I've had a lot of those too. I have some of those dreams that I can vividly remember, and then I'll have those ones where it was a little bit, a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety, and you wake up and your heart's racing, but you don't really remember it. She's smarter than Alexa. Yes, she definitely is. I remember one. Y'all ever heard of sleep paralysis? I hadn't even planned on talking about this, but it got me thinking about this. One night, many years ago, I actually experienced sleep paralysis. And this is one, and they say it's actually still within the dream, but I think that I actually went through this because I still remember this one pretty vividly. And it was, it was several years ago, like probably easily 8, maybe even 9 years ago. Sleep paralysis is when your mind wakes up, but nothing else will wake up, right? You can't open your eyes. You can't open your mouth. You can't move your body at all. I remember waking up and not being able to move, not even being able to open my mouth, and trying to scream and not being able to do it. It was a very scary experience. If you've ever had that happen to you, it's not pleasurable at all. I'm glad it's only happened to me that one time, and I hope it never happens again. So, yeah, I forgot all about that. Guess I kind of triggered myself. Watch it happen tonight. I'll be kind of scary if that happens. So, all right. So I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Feel free to kind of share this video with your friends, your family, your loved ones. Let them know that we got a new wellness channel going on. And we're going to wrap up with our little bit of our closing. All right. And that wraps up tonight's journey through the dreamscape, where Freud's ghost is probably still taking notes and your brain just wants a nap. Remember, here at Bargain Brand Wellness, we do what we can with what we've got. Self-care doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to make kind of sense occasionally. Our insight may be off brand, but our intentions are top shelf. So until next time, stay hydrated, stay weird, stay well, and most importantly, make it worth your wellness. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you on Wednesday on YouTube.